Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and today working on this bracelet. This was 2264 on friendshipbracelets.net. It is a pretty cool. Wait, I've got a light that's off over here. Let's just that help. I don't know if that helps. Anyways, a simple little black and white bracelet where the strings are evenly spaced out, and I thought this was going to be kind of easy. It turns out it's very easy. It might even be actually beginner friendly because you can do this without having to use either of the two zigzag knots, right? So as long as you can make a chevron, those two knots that you use, one's going to the right, so one's going to the left. That's all you need for this whole pattern. And I don't think I really kind of realized that when I was making it. And I suppose shame on me, like I should actually have been able to see that right away, but whatever. It turns out this is really fun. You can't really segment knot this because of the fact that it is very much like a chevron. You can only go so far to one side to the other, with the exception of like there's one spot where there's like a single dot, and you can make that extra row because it crosses over like that. Which caused me to make a mistake, actually. I made two mistakes, honestly, working on this one. One was I thought I could just come straight across with the second row, and that was not possible. I had to back that off. And then there was another one where I just kind of carelessly kind of lost track of what I was doing, had to back out a few knots. But other than that, it was easy. And once you kind of get the pattern down, it gets easier still because of the fact that it just repeats itself. It's like there's one dot in the middle, then there's three, then there's five, and then back to the 1, 3, 5, which is really kind of cool. Like it just makes it kind of, I don't know, entertaining while I'm making it. So yeah, this one took me 80 minutes, like almost exactly. Which for, 16 string bracelet, like that's actually pretty good for me. So, yeah, it's really pretty. It's really fun. I really like this one a lot. I thought it was going to look more like bricks. It totally doesn't. I'm trying to remember, like, what... There is an effect. I don't know. Like, the middle is just totally reminds me of a bullseye. But, like, outside of it, the spacing and stuff, it's just fascinating. It did use all the strings pretty evenly. Not exactly. Like, obviously the white gets used just a little bit more than the black does. But nothing so crazy as to have to worry about like cutting strings extra long or anything. Just the regular thirds worked out just fine. So, and let's see. Oh, what else? I know what else I can tell you. I did this, the making this, well, the most like halfway through the video was all done during a live stream over on the YouTube members thing. So that was kind of fun. But yeah, I didn't do the whole video. Like, so if you're interested in watching me make the whole thing, unfortunately there isn't footage of the whole second half, but the first part is. And yeah, and typically during those, I'm probably just talking to myself. Be honest, it's usually kind of quiet around here when it comes to the live streams, but that's okay. Yeah, so see, the first one had like a single dot at the top. The second one comes out like 3 in both directions, and the next one comes out 5. And the spacing, it just makes it fun. And like once I cut that part down, I was okay. I just had to worry about the pattern was to make sure that I didn't like go beyond where the center point was, because these templates I have are made to make the bracelet a certain size, and if you go further than that, then obviously it doesn't turn out so well. For at least for me, because I really love the whole having symmetry and stuff. It's just, it's in my nature, I guess. I had seriously, so when I made the pattern for this, I made two patterns. This one where it mirrored in the center, and then the other one where it just continued like all off, going off to the one side. And I picked this one thinking this would be the more difficult version, and that the other one would be just like kind of like doing a candy stripe, with the exception of a couple odd knots here and there going the other direction. So I thought this was going to be like really difficult, and you know, obviously my surprise when it's like, no, you know what, this is really easy. And I'm like, well, wait, maybe when it gets to the middle it'll be hard because you have to change directions and bring it in. But it turns out you can just bring the string straight down and drop it, and there's another one where it ends coming back the other direction. Again, super easy. I was like, well, okay. Yeah, it just came out together really well. What else? I'm kind of at a loss for like some of the insight that I got. I made this 2 days ago, and yesterday I tried to wipe out my computer because it kept having dropped frames and other things, just really bad for the recording. And so I figured I would give this a clean start over. But as a result, I've had to like reinstall all kinds of things, and all kinds of stressful whatever. And so now it's been a little while since I made it, and so my mind is like, what did I do? What was interesting or different about this? And I'm really kind of coming up blank, other than the fact that I was really surprised at how simple it was. I remember that like sticks out big time. And despite it being simple, I still managed somehow to make 2 mistakes. So yeah, I guess the lesson there is, even on the simple ones, we have to pay attention to make sure that you don't mess things up, because yeah, it's really easy to get like that feeling like, oh, I got this, and then you just don't. So yeah. Yeah, I don't tend to do a lot of black and white bracelets, but I don't mind it so much. I think it's kind of cool. I like the fact that the white is like glows under the black light, and the black is like so much darker under the black light. Like I got one here. I don't know if you can. Yeah, the effect is kind of lost, but it looks super cool. I love it. I have this to be able to test to see whether or not the colors will light up or not, which is really handy because like there, the phone or the battery case thing that I was doing had shades of orange, and when I was trying to match colors and stuff, some of the oranges are really close to each other until you shine that light on it, and then you can obviously tell like the difference between the two, whether because one lights up more or because one suddenly looks like a much darker than the one next to it. Yeah, it comes in handy. It's worth having the flashlight around just for that purpose, if nothing else. So I'm starting to think I should have sped this up even faster. This is kind of like the normal speed for speeding it up, by like running out of things to talk about. Well, I guess what I can do, we're kind of towards the middle. I'm gonna forget it anyway, so let's just thank my Patreon supporters and my YouTube members for making this possible. With their help, I'm able to buy string and all this other cool stuff that helps make this possible. So a big shout out to all of them for everything that they've done. Really do appreciate it. Yeah. And you can, I don't know if you can tell from watching, like, I kind of really got into a rhythm of doing this. And then my typical mode is do a row to the right and then continue to the right. Again, go to the left and then another left, right, another right, left, another left. And typically that kind of goes really well because you've already got the strings sorted from the previous row that you did. And it just kind of helps make it go a little bit faster, a little bit easier. It's not perfect, but it does make a difference. It really came from the days where I was doing these things outside at the parks and stuff with the wind blowing my string around. It just made sense to, when you already have it all sorted, just to keep it sorted. Oh yeah, so here's the middle. So you can see like the white ended on a white, the black one ends on a black one. Makes this cool little bullseye thing. And you can tell I didn't do any changing of the directions of the strings. I left that be. And it actually makes the back look really kind of cool. It's kind of a little more spacey than the front. But then they just come back in. There it goes. So if you're looking for a kind of a quick, easy one, this might be for you. I definitely feel like this is one, like, if I put up my display for, you know, bracelets to sell, I kind of feel like this one will get noticed and possibly picked up faster. The only thing that would be the downside is the fact that white is going to just get dirty kind of fast. But that's okay, it'll still glow in a black light even if it gets a little dingy. Oh, and then coming back the other way, I did get kind of worried about like how the keeping track of like how many, you know, spaces before it separates. Turns out not that hard. Yeah, I half expected that once it changed to go the other way, that I was going to start dreading it, or it was going to be harder to do. No, not at all. And once it came, oh yeah, overshot by one. Yeah, and that was just because I wasn't paying attention. I was just kind of got on a roll, and then like, nope. But yeah, that was mistake number 2. The first one was higher up. I actually stopped the video and then undid the knots and then went on with it. So you might notice it. You might see like a couple knots in and then a jump. But yeah, and I missed it while trying to tell you guys about what was going on. So obviously it's kind of subtle. But yeah, there was 2. I'm not afraid to say it. Like, you know, I make mistakes. Yeah. Oh, and this would be a lot of fun, potentially to do in, like, you know, like other colors, like maybe like a blue and red. I think would be kind of cool with it. It might look a lot like this Spider-Man theme that way. I also suspect that there's the possibility that you could actually, like, take the white strings and divide it into like 3 colors and keep them kind of spaced out. It would take a lot more work in the planning phase, but I think it is possible to do something like that, which I think could look really, really cool as well. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know. We'll see how it goes. Trying to think what else. Yeah, oh, still looking for people to submit things for the blindside creations. That's where you pick out a pattern number that you think that it would be really fun to see me work on, and I take that bracelet design and try to make something out of it without having seen it before I start the video. So the whole shtick is that basically I don't know what I'm coming up against, and then it's suddenly there, and I have to like try to, you know, sometimes I make it exactly like the pattern, but most of the time I try to change it up or do something different with it. So in order for those, all I need is the pattern number, which website you got it from, and the number of strings in the pattern, so I can have my template ready. So it just saves us a little bit of time. So just 3 things. I'm actually recording this while on a live stream, and hang on, I see there's some chat here. Oh, so it's wishing me well. That was cool. I had to see what the thing said. It's my screen kind of stretches out a long way, so it's way over there. But yeah, that was nice. Yeah, so tomorrow I have another pattern that I plan on working on. Most likely going to be black and white again. So we'll see how that goes. Kind of looking forward to it. It's another one where I'm not sure if it's going to be an easy one or not. Well, I know it's going to be harder than this one, but I don't know by how much. So we'll see how that goes. Sometimes I get myself, you know, kind of dreading the whole idea of like, oh no, one of these times I'm just going to pick something that's so difficult that I don't enjoy what I'm making. So, and it happens from time to time, but that's okay. Yeah. So you can see like there are the 3 different rows. This one is the one where it goes 5 long, and then you just get the one little dot in the center, and the next one it goes 2, then a gap, and then goes all the way to the middle. The next one is like 4, got a gap, and then 3 in the middle. And that's it. Those are all 3 of that design. So the white ones just go all the way down, and that's why the white ones get used more, is because each row they're used all the way. But yeah, because I'm not changing its directions, like it kind of moves them around enough that they keep changing their spots. So I think it kind of helps on the whole spacing or how long the strings had to be. Because yeah, this one I wasn't concerned with the overall length. So, because that's always a thing, right? Like I know that there are people who like play chicken with their threads, and you know, run it down like till like there's very little left. I don't like that. I don't like that feel. I've had times where I've lost at that game because I used to always cut my string into quarters, and yeah, you have to really have patterns that use things evenly for that to work. So I think we're getting towards the end, kinda. And it looks like we got a couple minutes left. If you made it this far in the video, can you just like drop a comment down below? You know, if you're on YouTube, I'm kind of curious because like I look at the statistics and a lot of people don't watch the whole video. So I'd kind of like to be able to see like from the count of the number of people who watch the video and compare that to the number of comments, right? So like if you made it here, you know, yeah, that's, you know, just leave me a comment would actually let me kind of see where that goes. And I gotta suspect there'll be a few of you that maybe heard me ask this and then still don't, but I really would appreciate it. I'm doing it for science. I kind of really want to see like if people are watching, and if so, all the way or not. Well, most of the way. Yeah, we got a little more than a minute left. And it's, again, you know, black and white strings, kind of really nice and easy because it's every other one. You can do so much with the string in every other one like this. The patterns that you can do can do some really amazing stuff. So it's a lot of fun. And yeah, I kind of thinking about maybe like doing some, like, just go on my own and put them in there and see what other kind of weird concoctions I can come up with. I did one where it was a maze. One line went all the way down the whole bracelet. I have to tell this story because when I did it, it was really hard, and I didn't start out with a pattern on paper or anything. I just made it happen. And I did it with purple and white. And this was with some string that I bought at Kmart back when I lived in Michigan. And after it was all done, the bracelet was really stiff, you know? So I took it and I run it under some cold water to just kind of loosen it up. And some of the purple dye ran and got on into the white area. And I was like so upset that was like the last time I used that string. So yeah, that was a thing. All right. Hey, wait, we're at the end. Thanks for watching. And yeah, as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.